Hi everybody, welcome to day 2 and we are again at Camp Wakashma. And so I wanted to show you that we are on one of the nature walks that kids can take when they come to camp. So thank you again to Camp Wakashma for letting us come out here and film this week. So what you see is we're actually on one of the platforms where it used to be tent camping. So now it's a little bit different. Kids have cabins, but it used to be where this is where your tent would go, and it was a platform tent. So it's a little bit different now, but still lots of fun if you get to come to camp. So the book that we're going to be reading today is As an Oak Tree Grows by Brian Carus. On a sunny late summer day, a young boy planted an acorn in the ground. Later that year, an oak tree sprouted up from the earth into the air and light. That was one of the fawns. Each fall it will shed its leaves, and each spring new ones will grow. The boy grew up and moved away. Farmers now lived here. They cleared the hillsides where forests once stood. The wood was used for building and to burn at fireplaces, but the oak tree was left standing. The oak tree had room to spread wide and grew upward and outward. Sometimes snow was very heavy and a branch would break off. As the oak tree grew, everyone and everything was on the move. Children grew, some stayed to work on farms, and others left to work in factories. Ships came and went, large engines rumbled along steel rails. Birds perched in the oak tree to rest from long migrations. Some stayed and made new homes, and others flew on. More people arrived and built new houses and buildings. Some years little rain fell. Hills and fields were dry where trees had once stood and shaded the ground from the sun's rays. The oak tree's roots reached far underground for water as its leaves wilted. Farmers conserved what little they had for thirsty livestock until the rain fell again. Electricity came through wires that were strung over hills and through valleys. It powered streetlights and homes. The land twinkled with lights and stars, faded in the night sky. The oak tree grew slowly and steadily while all around it life sped by. People rode in cars to go to work and visit friends, to go shopping, or just for a drive. Soon the air was filled with jet contrails and radio waves and sound waves of beeping cars, barking dogs, zooming motorboats, whistling trains, and music. The oak tree is 200 years old. It has shed its leaves and grown new ones every year. Animals, birds, and insects have made homes in its folds and holes and branches. The oak tree, with its strong roots, trunks, and limbs, has survived many storms over its lifetime. Now a fog rolls in and a big storm is on the way. The storm is powerful and the oak tree is split in two. It does not survive the storm. People come to look where the great oak tree once stood. The tree is cut into pieces to be used for furniture, firewood, and mulch. A new day dawns. Once again, the ground is warm and welcoming as a new oak tree grows. So even though they lost this one, still gonna get a different one. So this is the activity that we're gonna look at today, is looking at a tree's rings and what it can tell us about the environment and also how old it is. So we found a stump right here that has different rings, so it's a little bit harder to see because it's one that's been sitting out in the elements for a long time, and it looks like it's been obviously dead for a while. So you can see that it has moss growing on it, and it has fungi or mushrooms growing on it, but you can also see some of the rings still. So if you look on the top, so it's a little harder to see on this one. Some are easy to see and some are harder to see. But you can see where it has the rings around it. And each ring indicates a year that the tree has been living. So some trees only have a few and some trees have a lot. So this tree has a lot of rings on it, so this one would probably be very old. So the activity that we're doing, so before I get to that though, there's different ways that you can tell the age of a tree. So you can look at the rings around it, you can count the branches, so like trees, like conifer trees that you use for like Christmas trees, you can count the levels. You can also measure around the tree. It takes some math to do, but you can measure around it and then see how old the tree is. And then for environmental, so if there's big gaps between some of the rings, it was a rainy season. In a dry season, if they're really close together. And then if there's black marks, so this one doesn't have any, but some trees, if they've been through a fire, they'll have black marks on them, and you'll be able to see it. So the activity that we're going to do today is drawing your own tree with different rings. So I did mine with different colors. You can do a pattern, you can do all one color, you can do different colors. It's up to you how you want to do it. So if I was looking at my tree and I wanted to know how old it was, I could count each of the black rings on it and see how old my tree was. So what do you think? How old is my tree? If you said 9, then you would be right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my tree would be 9 years old. So I can't wait to see what you come up with for your drawings. Please make sure that you share it on our Facebook page so everybody can enjoy how awesome you're doing with all the activities that we're doing. So I hope you enjoyed this part of camp, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.